General Hospital spoilers tease that Sonny's departure has been confirmed, as Maurice Benard's summer tour schedule was announced. However, this isn't just a temporary break for the character, it could signal the upcoming end of Sonny's story on General Hospital. The news about the I Want You live in 25-inch tour, taking place from July 8th to 20th, has led fans to question the future of Sonny Corinthos after more than 30 years with the show. The new storyline, which centers around one of the new threats, is really pushing the situation to become increasingly chaotic, hinting that Sonny's departure might not be voluntary. Behind-the-scenes sources reveal that Sidwell, a newly introduced enemy of Sonny, is plotting to overthrow Sonny's empire by using confidential information and underground connections with law enforcement officials. Sonny has been entangled in Kristina's troubles, which is influencing some of the new developments in the storyline. As Kristina's father, Sonny has been pulled into a car accident and its legal consequences. He faces a difficult dilemma, on one hand, wanting to protect his daughter, and on the other, dealing with the fallout from covering up the truth. When Alexis decides to have Kristina committed to a mental facility to keep her from facing the justice system, Sonny secretly supports this plan. He uses his resources and connections to ensure Kristina's mental health diagnosis is accepted and that she receives treatment at the best possible facility. However, these actions have left traces, and Sidwell has started gathering evidence of Sonny's involvement in covering up Kristina's crime. Sidwell is not only targeting Sonny's business empire but also wants to destroy his family. He has begun approaching members of the Corinthos family, including Michael and Morgan, trying to sow seeds of doubt and division. He's also started applying pressure to Carly, attempting to use her as a weakness to attack Sonny. In a troubling development, Sidwell has started reaching out to law enforcement officials, including the FBI, providing information about Sonny's illegal activities. He has secretly recorded Sonny's conversations with members of his organization and is preparing to use these recordings to build a case against him. If successful, this could lead to Sonny's arrest and a lengthy prison sentence. Realizing the growing threat, Sonny has begun preparing for the possibility that he may have to leave Port Charles. He has secretly moved some assets abroad, established a new identity, and even started planning who will take over his organization if he has to disappear. Jason Morgan, Sonny's trusted right-hand man, is being groomed to take control, but rumors suggest that Drew Kane, with his recent personality changes, might try to intervene. Sonny's absence, whether temporary or permanent, would undoubtedly create a major power vacuum in Port Charles's underworld. This could lead to a battle for control among different factions, generating new, tense storylines for the remaining characters. Carly, though no longer Sonny's wife, will still be deeply affected by his departure. She will have to face difficult questions from their children, especially Donna, who is too young to understand why her father is gone. Carly will also face a threat from Sidwell, who may target her to get back at Sonny. Nina, who is currently in a complicated relationship with Sonny, will also have to deal with the uncertainty of the future. She has invested a lot in this relationship, and Sonny's departure may leave her alone to face his enemies. Will Nina be strong enough to stand on her own without Sonny, or will she turn to someone else for protection? Dante, both Sonny's son and a police officer, will be torn between his loyalty to his father and his duty to the law. This could lead to an emotionally charged and complex storyline for this character. Kristina, whose troubles have contributed to the current situation, will have to deal with deep feelings of guilt. She may feel that her actions forced her father to leave, which could push her into another mental health crisis. While fans are eagerly awaiting Maurice Benard's tour, they are also concerned about Sonny's fate on the show. Is this the beginning of the end for one of General Hospital's most iconic characters? Or is it just a temporary twist in Sonny Corinthos' long story? There's a possibility that the writers are using Maurice's absence for the tour to create an intriguing storyline about Sonny being forced to flee or being arrested. This could lead to a long arc of Sonny trying to clear his name or rebuild his life in a new location. It would also give an opportunity to develop other characters and establish new dynamics in Port Charles. Another possibility is that Maurice Benard is truly preparing to leave the role he has played for over 3 decades. If that's the case, the writers will want to ensure Sonny's exit is memorable and meaningful, fitting with the character's importance in the show's history. This could lead to a tragic and emotional storyline, culminating in a tearful farewell. Whatever the outcome, one thing is certain: Sonny's absence will leave a huge mark on the Port Charles community. Relationships will change, new alliances will form, and the power dynamics will be rearranged. When the dust settles, Port Charles will be a very different place than it was before Sonny left. In the meantime, fans will anxiously wait to see what happens next. They will watch every new episode, hoping for clues about Sonny's fate, and continue to hope that, no matter what happens, Maurice Benard and his iconic character will one day return to Port Charles. Sonny will be accused by Molly and Rick of falsifying evidence to prove Kristina's innocence. A tense situation that is cornering the Port Charles mob boss. One of the new obsessions is the growing adjustment as Sonny faces not only the law but also his extended family. Molly, a young idealistic lawyer and Kristina's half-sister, accidentally discovers evidence showing Sonny's interference with the investigation. While looking into Rick and Elizabeth's accident, Molly stumbles upon a series of emails exchanged between Sonny and a forensic expert, where Sonny offered a large sum of money for the expert to alter the technical report about the condition of the car. She also finds out that Sonny has influenced several witnesses, possibly even threatening them to change their testimony about what they saw the day of the accident. With a strong sense of justice and faith in the legal system, Molly feels she cannot stay silent about these criminal actions, even if it means protecting her sister. She has always admired her mother for her integrity and commitment to justice. And now she feels betrayed upon discovering that both her mother and Sonny are trying to cover up the truth. For Molly, this is not just about doing what is right but also about maintaining the values she has always upheld. Rick, the former prosecutor and Molly's father, as well as Sonny's half-brother, joins his daughter in this fight. Although Rick and Sonny once had a better relationship, their history is mostly marked by rivalry and betrayal. As a victim of the accident, Rick feels deeply betrayed by Sonny's actions. Rick and Elizabeth narrowly escaped death in the crash, and while they both survived, they had to endure serious injuries and painful recovery. Rick is especially angry because Sonny seems willing to sacrifice justice for Rick and Elizabeth to protect Kristina. While Rick understands that Sonny loves his daughter, he feels that this time Sonny has gone too far. Sonny's willingness to falsify evidence, manipulate witnesses, and obstruct justice, even to protect his daughter, has led Rick to resolve to bring his brother to justice. One of the new pressures is making things increasingly chaotic as Sonny faces opposition from many sides. Alexis, who tried to protect Kristina by admitting her to a mental facility, now feels trapped between the two sides. She cannot openly support Sonny's illegal actions but also does not want her daughter to face severe legal consequences. Alexis has spent her entire career respecting the law, and now she feels she is violating the very principles she has always supported. Carly, though no longer Sonny's wife, still worries about how this situation will affect their children, especially Donna, who is too young to understand what is happening. She fears that if Sonny is convicted and sent to prison, Donna will lose her father during the most crucial years of her development. She also worries about how this situation might affect their older children, particularly Michael, who has already gone through much loss and trauma. Michael, although having a complicated relationship with his father in recent years, still feels torn by this situation. He understands both sides of the conflict. On one hand, he understands Sonny is just trying to protect his daughter, but on the other, he believes in fairness and personal responsibility. Michael has faced the consequences of his own actions in the past, and he is unsure whether Kristina should be treated differently just because she is Sonny's daughter. Jason, Sonny's longtime right-hand man, is trying to help the mob boss find a way out of this situation without further harming the family. Jason has been loyal to Sonny for decades, helping him through numerous crises and challenges. But even Jason realizes that this time, Sonny may have gone too far. He worries that Sonny's actions not only endanger himself but also everyone around him. The pressure from law enforcement is also mounting. Jordan Ashford, as mayor and former police chief, cannot ignore such serious accusations. While she does not want to arrest Sonny and create more rifts in the community, she also has a responsibility to ensure that the law is respected and applied fairly to everyone, no matter who they are. Dante is caught between his duties as a police officer and his love for his father. He has always tried to maintain a balance between these two aspects of his life. But the current situation forces him to make difficult choices. If Dante pursues justice, he may play a role in sending his father to prison. But if he protects Sonny, he will betray his oath as a police officer. One of the new shocks is the growing adjustment as Sonny begins considering an extreme decision, leaving Port Charles. With the accusations from Molly and Rick, and increasing evidence against him, Sonny realizes he may face a long time in prison. And with Kristina's current situation, he cannot bear the thought of not being there to protect his daughter. Sonny starts having difficult conversations with his closest people. With Carly, he discusses who will take care of Donna if he has to leave. With Jason, he talks about the future of the organization and how to protect the interests of those depending on him. With Kristina, he tries to explain that everything he has done is because of his love for her, even though those actions might not always be right. In his moments of doubt, Sonny wonders if he should face the accusations and accept the consequences of his actions. He has spent his whole life in Port Charles, building an empire and a family there. The thought of giving it all up and starting over seems unbearable. But he also knows that if he stays and is convicted, he may face many years in prison. Separated from his family and unable to protect them, Sonny has begun taking the necessary steps, transferring assets to trusted people, setting up a new identity, and even planning who will take care of his young daughter. He has also started discussing with Jason who will take over his organization if he has to leave. This is a heartbreaking decision. But Sonny knows that sometimes, to protect those you love, you must be willing to give up everything. As rumors of Sonny's plan spread, it causes a wave of panic in the Port Charles community. Sidwell, Sonny's newly emerging enemy, is positioning himself to take over Sonny's territory if he leaves. Sonny's allies must decide whether they will stay loyal to him or seek protection from Sidwell or other forces. The Corinthos family members also have to face the painful reality that the man they have relied on for years may no longer be there. Nina, who is currently in a relationship with Sonny, feels betrayed when she learns he might leave without telling her. She has invested so much in this relationship, and the thought that it could end suddenly is painful. She also worries about what might happen to Willow and Amelia if Sonny leaves and Michael becomes desperate. The relationship between Nina and Michael has been tense for years, and she fears that without Sonny to mediate, things could get worse. Kristina, who is in the mental facility, is unaware of the events unfolding. She still believes she is receiving treatment for her real psychological issues and does not realize that her parents are trying to protect her from legal consequences. When she finally learns the truth, how will she react? Will she feel grateful for her parents' sacrifices, or will she feel betrayed because they lied to her? Maurice Benard's upcoming tour, I Want You, live in 25, may be a sign that Sonny will temporarily be off-screen, fitting into the storyline of him needing to escape. From July 8th to 20th, Maurice will visit several cities to share his story and interact with fans. This time may be used to develop the plot of Sonny's absence from Port Charles, either because he is on the run or being detained. However, fans still hope this is just a temporary twist, and Sonny Corinthos, one of General Hospital's most iconic characters, will soon return to Port Charles. Sonny has been an essential part of the show for over 30 years, and it's hard to imagine Port Charles without his powerful presence. Meanwhile, the battle between Sonny, Molly, and Rick escalates, with Kristina caught in the middle, and all of Port Charles is holding its breath for the outcome. The coming days will witness many surprising developments, with new alliances being formed and old secrets being revealed. Will Sonny find a way to resolve this situation without giving up everything? Or is this truly the beginning of the end of the Corinthos' reign in Port Charles? Sonny is going to prison, and this is causing one of the latest explosions in the General Hospital storyline. This decision has sent shockwaves through the Port Charles community, especially within the Corinthos family and those closest to Sonny. Sonny's incarceration is not only the result of his recent actions in covering up Kristina's crimes, but also the culmination of years of illegal activity. Despite Sonny's ability to escape legal trouble many times before, thanks to his lawyer's savvy and his own influence, it seems he has run out of ways to avoid facing the consequences now. One of the new, wild adjustments in the storyline involves Sonny confronting the harsh reality that he will have to leave his family and empire for a long period. He begins to plan for every possible scenario, from who will take care of his children to how his business will continue in his absence. This new complication is truly creating a power vacuum in Port Charles. With Sonny in prison, a significant gap in power has emerged, and various factions are vying to fill it. Sidwell, Sonny's rising enemy, is actively expanding his territory and influence. Longtime rivals, like the Cassidines, are also seizing the opportunity to consolidate their positions. As Sonny enters prison, his family turns to Jason to manage things. This is a difficult but necessary decision. Jason, as Sonny's longtime right-hand man and most trusted friend, is the natural choice to take over both the business and family responsibilities. Jason will face many challenges in his new role. Not only will he need to maintain Sonny's business operations and protect his territory from those looking to take over, but he'll also have to look after the Corinthos family. This includes helping Carly raise Donna, assisting Michael with managing ELQ, and continuing to support Kristina in her recovery. This situation also creates new tensions in relationships. Carly, though no longer Sonny's wife, still feels a strong sense of responsibility to the family and will have to work closely with Jason. This may lead to conflicts with Sam, who might feel uncomfortable with Jason spending so much time and attention on Carly and the Corinthos family. Nina, currently in a relationship with Sonny, will have to decide if she wants to continue their relationship while Sonny is in prison. She will also have to face hostility from the Corinthos family, especially from Michael, who might blame her for Sonny's current situation. Kristina, upon learning the truth about what happened, will be overwhelmed by guilt. She may feel that her own actions are responsible for sending her father to prison, which could severely affect her emotional recovery. Meanwhile, Molly and Rick will face the consequences of their decision to accuse Sonny. Though they believe they did the right thing, they will have to deal with the anger and resentment from the Corinthos family and Sonny's supporters within the community. As Sonny enters the prison system, he will face a completely new world, one in which he no longer holds control. He will have to learn how to survive in this new environment while still trying to maintain his influence on the outside. This could lead to new, exciting storylines about Sonny's life in prison and his efforts to protect himself and his family from afar. This situation promises dramatic twists and turns in the General Hospital storyline in the coming weeks. Not only changing dynamics between characters but also opening up many new possibilities for character and plot development. Sonny is returning to Morgan, an event causing a huge stir and making the current twists even crazier than ever. Morgan, who was presumed dead in a car explosion years ago, is now alive, creating a wave of emotion and confusion throughout Port Charles. The news of Morgan's survival spreads quickly, forcing everyone to question what really happened that fateful night and who has been hiding the truth all this time. One of the new twists really explodes as Sonny, just out of prison, now faces the sudden return of his son. The reunion between Sonny and Morgan is an emotional one, with Sonny unable to believe his eyes as he stands before his son. Tears of happiness mix with confusion and anger as Sonny struggles to understand why his son hasn't contacted the family all these years. Morgan explains that he lost his memory after the explosion and has only recently begun to remember his past life. He was saved and cared for by a mysterious group of people. But when he began to recall his memories, they tried to prevent him from returning to Port Charles. Carly, upon learning that Morgan is alive, rushes to meet him. The sight of Carly tightly hugging Morgan, tears streaming down her face, is one of the most emotional moments Port Charles has ever witnessed. She can't stop looking at her son, fearing that if she looks away for even a second, he will disappear again. Michael, Kristina, and Avery quickly join to reunite with their lost brother, creating a heartfelt family scene they never thought possible. However, not everyone is happy about Morgan's return. Some begin to question the timing of the event. Why is Morgan coming back just as Sonny is out of prison? Could this be part of a larger scheme? Mina, who is currently in a relationship with Sonny, feels concerned about how this return will affect their relationship. She fears that with Morgan back, Sonny and Carly might grow closer and leave her out. Jason, who has been taking on many of Sonny's responsibilities during his time in prison, now faces questions about his future role. While he is happy about Morgan's return, whom he always considered like a nephew, he is also worried about the changes this could bring to the current power structure. He begins investigating the people who have kept Morgan hidden all these years, fearing they may be a threat to the Corinthos family. Sidwell, Sonny's new enemy, views Morgan's return as a threat to his plans, having used Sonny's time in prison to expand his territory and influence. Sidwell now sees both Sonny and Morgan's return as a direct threat to his position. He begins plotting to eliminate both father and son, determined not to let them destroy everything he has built. As Morgan starts reintegrating into life in Port Charles, pieces of the past are gradually revealed. He begins to have memories of his time missing, and these recollections could hold crucial information that could change the power dynamics of Port Charles. Each new memory brings more questions and mysteries, leaving everyone wondering if they truly understand what happened all those years ago. Morgan's return affects not only the Corinthos family but also many other characters in Port Charles. Kiki Jerome, who once loved Morgan deeply, now has a new life with someone else. Morgan's sudden appearance puts her in a difficult position, forcing her to confront emotions she thought she had buried long ago. Ava Jerome, who had a complicated relationship with Morgan, also faces the consequences of their past as Morgan returns. With Morgan back, the Corinthos family is entering a new chapter that is full of promise but also full of challenges. They must adjust to welcome Morgan back while also facing the new threats that are emerging. Sonny, empowered by the return of his son, is determined to protect his family and reclaim what's his. Morgan, with his secrets and new skills, could become a powerful ally in this battle. As Port Charles prepares for the upcoming Nurses' Ball, tension and anticipation fill the air. The event is not only a chance to raise funds and honor those in the healthcare industry, but it could also be the stage for shocking revelations and dramatic confrontations. With Morgan back, Sonny out of prison, and many competing forces battling for power, this year's Nurses' Ball promises to be an unforgettable event in Port Charles history. Morgan and Sonny's return is creating a huge wave of change in Port Charles, opening up countless possibilities for exciting new storylines. With secrets slowly being revealed and new threats emerging, General Hospital fans can expect many dramatic and surprising weeks ahead.